To race 6 of Division 6 in season 2 of DTR racing. Here we are racing in Russia of all places amid the global controversies that will be going on currently, but luckily this is only a video game, so we can race it and we'll proceed to race it. Only 14 drivers on the grid, I think, today here. A few dropping out like gold and a few others, actually only 13 on the grid here. Maybe a few DNFs, the same faces here as usual, like Hoff sat on the podium every race so far, I'm pretty sure. Alexander, who was really fast in Singapore, if I do remember. And I've been informed that both sessions have been are dry. Thanks to my weatherman Charlie on the ground. I just need to thank him. So because there'll be no rain, if we've got plenty of rain in last race in Singapore. So as here we have the first out, let me get everything up, like the track map, update and telemetry, there we go. And might as well prove tyres. Charlie the only one thinking about going out on the mediums. And the first one it's Ethan here. He'll be first one to come out, and then both Red Bulls behind him of Hammer and I really should be able to pronounce his name. I can't, so we'll call him Ben. And then Alexander, and Hoff, BB Boldy, home for a good qualifying session, did quite well in Singapore if I do remember. And then Nobber, who's out in the Alpine today. I think he's always in the Alpine, so no I said today. Double in the Williams with his partner with Bellamy as well. Relay Luca coming out of it. Very fast driver in the lone Ferrari today. And Funks, no, not Funks, Funky, just Funky. And then G Infamous. Right now, didn't predict him in the top 3 of this race. I did predict the top 3 to be 1 Charlie, 2 or second to be Hoff, and third to be Alexander. No, second to be Alexander and third to be Hoff. Gene's Hoff in the Alpine. So we go to start the race. A few of these drivers race in Division 5 on Tuesday, so they've got some practice, like G Infamous finishing I think 4th, I'm not sure. Relay Luca finishing I think it was 7th, something like that. And then Hoff also racing, and Charlie also racing in Division 5 race. Who won that race was DMX 50, and he was the first winner of the championship in Division 5, and also Division 1 was won by Chalkers. So congratulations to him for winning Division 5. And Ethan's already crashed here. We should be able to see this on board with G Infamous. His teammate as he's going past. Yep. An unfortunate DNF right on the race line as well. Would normally red flag this session, but it's just a video game. So he's out. We'll be we'll be starting last on the grid. What was that about? Just talking about who won. Division 2 still to play for. No one's won Division 2 yet. So make sure to tune into that on Brazil on Wednesday. I think Division 2 is. It's coming across the line will be the first Red Bull of Ben, who puts a 1:33.3, and then his teammate coming across the line next. Hammer. Oh, we know it's Jim Smith 1:32.6. I think I got my timings wrong. Hold on, I will have to change. I need to check what the qualifying times were in. Yeah, they were once. Okay, so currently on top is G Infamous, coming across the lines of Williams, I think. It was Funky. No, he's just started a lap, Funky. But he also put in time, so this is his second lap. He set a time of 1:33.7. Amy's still in the pits. Out lap for Hoff as he goes a bit wide, letting everyone past. Below Luca is on a lap. No, he's invalidated his lap. Charlie is on a lap here on the medium tyre. We're going for the alternative strategy or just to practice here. The final two corners here. 90-degree turn to 1:33.0. Very fast driver Charlie is. Qualified 5th I think in Division 5 there. Had a really good race. Unfortunately had a lot of penalties I think it was. Was pushed down. For the mediums this is a fantastic qualifying at the moment if it stays like this. Well, obviously only 5 drivers have a set time. That's Hoff starting his lap, and then B. Boldy also starting his lap. Jimfus is in the pits. Funks puts in another lap, so we were on with him for a bit. He puts in a lap with a 1:32.8, which is 2/10 off Jimfus' current pole time. And Charlie seems to be good on his time by around 2.5 tenths. If I get rid of the telemetry, maybe we can see that at the bottom of the screen. I'll keep you updated. No, it doesn't look like he has a delta on his controls. Let's see, is anyone else coming across the line? Bellamy's just coming across the line to start one. Charlie will be the next driver to come across the line. 2.5 tenths now on his time. This will put him, you have to find another 10th in these last few corners to put him pole on the medium tyres, to be fair. As he comes across the line. Pole, there we go. We found a massive improvement. 7/10 in the last sector. Well, 5/10 in the last sector. 1:32.3. Charlie goes pole with those tyres. I think he'll let off now. Doesn't want to use too much of those tyres. Jim Fuss now comes out of the pits to do an outlap. Yeah, here's Funky. I think he will be pitting. But Hoff beats Charlie's time. And Hammer beats Hoff's time by a considerable margin there. Hoff went pole for a slight second with a 1:32.3, and then Hammer goes pole with a 1:31.7, and then using the runoff there. And I'm not seeing that BB Boldy did put in a time of 1:34.0 there. He currently placed 8th. Coming across the line is Relay Luca next, but he's going very slow. Yes, he goes into the pits. Bellamy's going to set a time again, going to go again I assume, because that first lap was invalidated. BB Boldy's on a hot lap, or down by 0.5 tenths here in the first seconder. I think Charlie's coming into the pits, and there behind him is G Infamous, I can see on the track map. We'll take a lot of curb there. That curb really drags you in if you have no camber. Really almost drags you in, and on the exit if you put a lot of throttle down it kind of spins you around. Anyway, BB Boldy did go off on his time. It was now up on his time by 2.5 tenths. Here we'll see what he gets when he crosses the line. As Hoff pits and the other, I think Hammer pits as well, yes. As BB Boldy comes across the line, his time is a 1:33.5. He's still P8, unfortunately for him. He has to go another 2 tenths quicker to find any sort of gain. An Alpine coming across the line, that is Nobbers with a 1:33.7 there. He takes 9th. Another car crossing the line is a Williams of Bellamy, which lap hasn't been invalidated this time. Comes across the line with there you go, 10th. And then the car behind them is I don't know. I kind of keep flicking until I find it. Double, who his times are 1:33.0. I don't know if that was an improvement or he's just set that. Got a flag from sector 2, a slow moving Alpine car. Let's see what on both double now. As GMFS moves up to P2 with a 1:32.2. And Ben moves up to P3 within goal place with his teammates there with a 1:32.2. Charlie's decided to go onto the soft tyres, I think, when he comes out next time. It's a 1:32.3 for him. Cars to cross the line soon is Alexander, who I haven't really seen. He's on an outlap. And Relay Luke is also on an outlap just behind them. Nobbets, who's pitting. Baldy, who seems to be pitting as well. And Funky and Alexander are about to start their laps. I think Funky's getting a tow here, it looks like, from I don't know, Funky's... Yeah, no, that wasn't a lap. But this is a... You know, got a big tow here. But I don't know if... It is a tow. Alexander in the Mercedes pole 1 week, I think it was, in Singapore, giving his rival in the Alpine a tow there. Seems like it was talked about beforehand, I'm assuming. Yeah, but he's still down this time by half a tenth, unfortunately, even with the tow. Look at his telemetry data to see what he's doing with his throttle and what he can do. There's a log curve there. This will. I don't know if he's up. It should be up on his time, right? He's down on his time by half a tenth. That's unfortunate for him. He's feeling Luca on a lap. He is here. Obviously, no time to compare for him. Wonder what he'll get when he crosses the line. Very fast in Bahrain was Relay Luca, unfortunately spinning out on turns 14, as we always keep mentioning. The Hammer Cell still has provisional pole. Can Relay Luca deny him as he crosses the line? He cannot. He goes fourth, Relay Luca here. 1:32.2. As Alexander heads to the pits again. Hopefully he has to set a lap. Charlie's here on an outlap as well. On a flying lap, but currently down on it by... Oh, and mind you, up on his time by around a tenth here. Hammer will stretch his lead even further. Oh, he takes a lot of curve, and that's an invalidation for him. Invalidated that lap. Whatever he sets here will not count. Car behind him of Hoff, who is invalidating, seems to be heading for the pits, and is heading for the pits before his last run. Body on an outlap. Who is on a lap? Funky's on a lap here. No, he's invalidated. Relay Luca is also on a lap, but that's invalidated. Starting a lap then with numbers, so just saw the time go. Let's watch him for a bit. Well, that is turn 2 officially. What he is just obviously there's turns from the start line. There is officially one corner, and then the first corner really is the second corner because there's a slight kink in the straight, which is counted as a corner. Up on his time by 3.5 tenths there. There from Nobbets I just saw. And that already puts him above BB Baldy. He needs to find around another 7, maybe around a second and a half to be close to his teammate. Oh no, never mind, just 9 tenths to be close to his teammate, which I think he can do if he's shown a massive improvement in the first sector. Yeah, numbers up by 5/10. So he needs another 2 here. Good harsh braking zone there. He seems to do it quite well. Picked up on the throttle quite nicely as well. Oh, takes a lot of curve there. Oh, keeping it. Keeping it. Don't know how much time that would have lost him. He comes across the line soon to set a 1:32.7, moving him above his teammate Justin. Bibi Baldi was on a lap here. He comes across the line to complete a lap, but it's invalidated, and he was 6 tenths down anyway. Now Charlie comes across. I was just witnessing the spin there. Charlie comes into the pits. There was a spinning one car. I think it could have been. I think it was Bellamy with the spin. Didn't see though. Cars on our lap now. Aww. Still novice. Ben spins on that turn I was talking about where he takes you. He spins. No, he's going very slow to let these cars pass. Good on him. So Jim starts a lap. He needs to improve by 4 tenths to get pole here. Can he deny Hammer? Hammer, their first pole here, was not in my predictions. Bit of a dark horse here. Appearing out of nowhere as he also starts a lap to try to deny Infamous and maybe even his teammate from getting out pole from him. Lucas on an out lap, so he has to get to the line before to start another lap. Hoffer's also on a lap, looking to gain a few places. Really only, oh, he takes it really wide the first turn. I think he can get to the line again in time. We'll have to watch this. Depends how fast he goes to get to the line again. It'll be close. Charlie's also on an out lap. He's gonna have to push really hard to get to the line again. As we'll ignore as he massively cuts track limits, but we will ignore it if he's trying to get to the line in time. As long as it doesn't impede anyone else's laps, I'm sure it's fine. And hopefully doesn't damage any of his wings. Funky is also on a lap being chased by Alexander, so he had to set a time. He's going to want to set a time as there's a yellow flag for a certain Williams, and that's double. Is Hoff going to make it to the line in time? Or he locks the brake, locks the rear brakes. Obviously, I will be looking at the cars. James has crossed the line again, along with Hamu. They both don't improve. 17 seconds now for Hoff. Really more close for 12 seconds for Charlie. I don't think Charlie's going to make it to the line, but Hoff might. Hoff just might make it. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's Charlie's qualifying over. Hoff manages to get to the line in time to start another lap. Ben's also over. Hammer is on a lap. Jimfus is on a lap, up by 2 tenths. Who's coming in the line here? Funkies. I don't know what time does he put in. A 1:32.6. He goes above his teammate. Just so that's his qualifying finished. Baldy's in the pits. Alexander's in the pits. Alexander's my race winner almost. I think I've set as Jimfus now slows down to a half it, invalidating. Luke goes into the pits. Now it seems to be Jimfus who's trying to get a lot of tenths in this last sector here. Can he deny Hammer provisional pole? Because he sat with provisional pole, and then can he get pole? He cannot. 1:39, 2 tenths off. Hammer now has pole. Doesn't need to improve as he spins across the line. DNF him, but that's fine because he has pole. Doesn't matter. Hoff is still out, but invalidated, and that's qualifying over. 2 cars not to set a lap. Ethan DNF'd, and Alexander, unfortunately, didn't set a lap. I wonder if he did. No, he didn't set 1 lap time, 1 sector time. Boldy did a few laps. He's 11th. Bellamy's 10th. Doubles 9th. Charlie will be starting on the medium tyre after only setting one lap on the medium tyre with a rapid lap. He'll be starting P6 for the alternative strategy. Funky out qualifying his teammate using all defensive tyres. All 132.6 for him. And Nobert's getting beat by his teammate. 132.7. He's 8th. Hoff 5th. Rila Luca 4th. Hammer 1st. James Smith 2nd. Ben 3rd. And Rila Luca 4th. And unfortunately, my predictions at the moment aren't looking too good, as I predicted Charlie 1st, Alexander 2nd, and Hoff 3rd. Also, my time for pole was slower by 4 attempts, so I didn't get any points for that. I'm going to take a quick drink. I might as well do a quick rundown of the grid. Had to find my water bottle before I could have any water, so that's why it took a little bit longer. Hammer on his first pole of the season here. In Russia, James always sitting in his podium places. He's P2, Ben P3. This is good qualifying for him. Relay Luca 4th, decent qualifying for him. Hopefully he would like to be in that top 3 spot. Mostly some overtakes in the first couple of laps from him. Hoff also looking to get another podium again. Charlie on the alternative strategy in 6th. He's going to want to try and make some places up. Hopefully P1, if my predictions are going to be correct. Here's Funky, out-qualified his teammate. He's 7th. Nobert's 8th after okay qualifying from him. Double 9th with his William partner behind. Amy 10th. Bibi Boldy 11th, Ethan 12th, Alexander on the alternative strategy. Actually, a lot of people on the alternative strategy. Charlie, BV Boldy, it's Ethan and Alexander. Alexander started last Singapore as well, or I think it was pole or it was either pole or last. I can't remember. He made a lot of overtakes, did Alexander, that race. So I'll be watching him on the board as the lights go out. So that's Alexander, the final car here. Gets into position. as Hammer gets a decent start, I think. Luca with a good start. Ben with a good start as well. He gets into P2. Lucas P3. GM fell down to P4. Hoff stayed in the same place. Charlie stayed in the same place. Nobbers made it one place up on his teammate. Hammer's still first. Ethan has retired from the session already. Unfortunately for him. Charlie getting passed by Function. There's a virtual safety car as there's a DNF into the first corner. Didn't see that, unfortunately. As it's a full-on safety car, there's a DNF onto the racing line there. The first lap, that slows this race down to a halt. Winner there is Alexander for getting 5 places. Told you to watch out for him. As the safety car will probably last a few laps. Maybe Charlie doesn't want to be on the alternative strategy, can change, but I think the safety car does him a lot of good actually, as he was going to want it to put onto the soft tyres around lap 18, lap 19 to really get the best out of those soft tyres. Because it's only a one stop here, soft to medium, or obviously medium to soft. The 2 stop I don't think you can make work because they'd have to be soft, medium, soft, and the mediums aren't quick enough around here, and the tyres just don't wear quick enough around here for a 2 stop. As Bellamy's already got a penalty, we'll check that out. No one seems to have a broken wing unless we go back to the back of the grid, as both Williams without a front wing. Bellamy going to be stuck a long time behind the Williams with double in front. As I think an unfortunate braking zone for Ethan. This is DNF. Must be going quite fast to DNF. Yes. Double looking good to the end on these mediums. Maybe pit same lap as Charlie onto the softs. As Amy now has to wait for this. And the time penalty, which is a 5 second, it looks like. As of lap 2 here, so we wait for the Williams to catch up. Safety car won't be in this lap, I don't think. I think it will be next lap. It's just it's not in this lap, will be in next lap, as we do wait for Bellamy to catch up as well as double. Hopefully you guys don't mind the silence, as I have really nothing to talk about, as there's the pit strategy with the safety car, medium to soft and maybe medium to hard. I don't see why you would go medium to hards unless you have no soft tyres left, but these drivers do have 2 sets of soft tyres, so I don't know. as we should get a confirmation that the safety car will be in this lap, right, when it hits sector 3? No, the safety car will be out for another lap, it looks like. Oh, never mind, safety car is in this lap. I should probably go up to the front. Two dancing bulls. As he's off, no one seems to be close on this safety car really. A good safety car restart. No, also not good in sense there's no overtaking, but good in sense of everyone's quite far apart, so I don't think there'll be any collisions here. As we might as well ride on board with Charlie, who's quite close on the back of Funky here. Bellamy would have a 3-second time penalty. Well, down the inside there from Charlie, wasn't expecting that. Funky's to get a better exit here. It was quite an opportunist move, I think, in there from Charlie. I think he sees that Reluca is pulling away from Funky and he wants to get as close to Reluca as possible. He wants the DRS, wants it to enable. This could be his chance on the straight here, though. He's going to use the DRS. So does Funks, but better acceleration out of the corner was Charlie's. Really, Funky has the better line, but as the cross, no, I think breaking a bit too early was Funky. Didn't have the best, couldn't really defend Charlie. As Alexander also moves up side by side with Hoff there, should be a good battle. As I think it is for not the championship, but it will decide what the championship looks like going into a final race. Final race being in Brazil. Already second pool between Hammer and Ben here. Alexander on the medium tyres. Hoff, I think, wants to be a bit higher than 7th. I think it's a bit of an unfortunate qualifying for him. As Charlie seems to be dropping to Reluca, but so does Alexander, seems to be dropping to Hoff. Reluca is not dropping to the Infamous though, he's looking for a place. As he's closing down the Infamous on the straight, DRS will be active and the head of the train will be Ben. Charlie's sitting in quite a good gap here. Doesn't really have anyone to attack him from behind, but can't really attack anyone in front. He's hoping this train slows down enough for him to get DRS. Here are flags in sector 3. I think it's just all the slow moving cars going to the braking zone, but no, there is a spin and there is an Alexander at the back of the grid apparently now. I want to see if his wing is broken. No, it didn't seem to be. We'll check. Does he pit? He doesn't pit. He just seems to be last. As Ben has had a terrible first corner. No, it's I don't know what happens to Ben here. This is bot driving perhaps, maybe? No, this is unfortunate for Ben. He seems to have going half throttle here. Something may have happened here with him. Going, yeah, something is definitely happened to him. Oh, he has no wing. Well, that is why. He seems to have broken it before the pit lane. Oh, just Lando Norris there. As there's contact behind him, as BB Boldy's DNF'd. Yes, there. That will be another safety car on lap 6, as Ben falls down to 10th, which means Luca gets in the podium place, and Charlie also in a place where he can succeed. He will probably be leading this train race soon if any of these cars decide to pit, which, I mean, you can pit at this point under safety car, and Hammer decides to pit. G Infamous decides to stay out with Hammer pitting. Luca staying out, obviously. Charlie obviously staying out. Funky goes into the pits. Hoff goes into the pits. Norbert decides to pit. Bellamy stays out. Norbert goes in. So that'll be a double stack for the Alpines, hopefully. Not though. Bain goes in and Alexander stays out. So we'll change it to tyres here. 2 staying out on the soft tyres here. To be fair, how many we've had? Lap 1, 2, 3 under safety car, and now we have lap 6. It's only been 3 laps really of pure racing on these tyres. I think they can definitely, it is worth staying out a little bit, trying to get the last little bit of grip out of these soft tyres, and hopefully it pays off for these two. But I think Charlie will be keeping up with them double, and Bellamy on the alternative strategy, as well as Charlie and Alexander also. So everyone who did pit is now 7th or below. So really net P1 at the moment is P7, depending on all the undercuts and overcuts here. We'll have to see. So really first place is obviously Hammer, so anyone that is above Hammer will get P1 after all the pits. Anyone who is below Hammer will obviously stay below Hammer. As you wait for the cars to bunch up. Very slow moving cars in there. The complete elevation change of Russia, which is just that one corner, as they don't decide to pit here. Obviously, just if they had any second thoughts, they could. So this car should hopefully be in this lap. I'd assume so. As the safety car is in, as you can see it drive off. As it goes into the pits, GM missing control of a restart here. Any second here, GM will go in there. He does decide to go. Yellow flags in all the sectors. Unfortunately, I don't think overtaking will be allowed since it is still yellow flags in all the sectors, which is an annoying glitch here. So I think Alexander's going to have to give this place back at the end of the straight, which he might do with his braking zone. But no, he does decide to stay in front, so maybe it isn't a glitch. Oh no, yellow flag's been lifted, and I think he can. As he overtakes, as Charlie makes the overtake into turn 1 as well. Also, Hammer gets past Amy. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the overtake that Charlie made. And so maybe the soft tyres are wearing. But GM has pulled a bit of a gap to Charlie here. He's hoping that these tyres can hold out for a little bit longer. He's looking to get a gap, I don't really know. And also another safety car. Actually, I think it was the better time to pit under that safety car. Close gaps between all these cars now. Hammer looking to get past these cars, as Alexander's going to send it down the inside, almost hitting Reluca there with such a late braking. As he makes up another place on the alternative strategy, he's now catching Luca. As Luca decides to pit, but GMS has gone over 3 seconds on see now my Luca falling all the way down to last with that pit stop. Now my predictions are starting to take place. We just need Hoff to get up there. I see he seems to be stuck behind Bellamy. This is a big train between P9 and P4. All under a second, and now Alexander's attack has petered out a bit as he's trying to chase Charlie here on the same lap hold tyres as him. Jim was also trying to go for as long as possible on these soft tyres. As Ham makes the pass on the Williams of double there, moving into P4. And Ben is also close on Hoff here. It's a bit of a train. Bellamy gets another time penalty there for scene track limits. Will Hoff make a move? No, I think he's going to wait to the straight. Never mind, he's making it now on the inside of the last corner. He makes it all bit of a bit too quick on the throttle from Amy. Pushes Ben a bit wide. I think Ben might get past here. And he overtakes on the straight. Yes, it's a Red Bull on Hammer, it looked like anyway. But Ben has made a double overtake, I think, on that corner. As Hoff is now pushed wide, as it goes 3 abreast. The long right-hander. Hoff coming out in front, it looked like there. Oh, and Ben's broke his wing on the back of Bellamy there, unfortunately. Out of ERS now is Hoff. So is the cars behind him, except from Ben. But Ben now has wing damage, which is really unfortunate. Hopefully Hoff can go faster now as he's relieved from the car that was Bellamy. As Hammer is very close with DRS in the back of Alexander. Obviously on the newer tyres, Hammer is now. Oh, as he underestimates that braking zone. Now Charlie I mean, not Charlie. Alexander now trying to get back under more, a little bit of contact there. In this fight is going to be very interesting on the different tyres between Hammer and Alexander. Alexander obviously on the alternative strategy here, Bellingham with another 2-second time penalty, Hammer also with the time penalty. Obviously Alexander's on a different strategy, and yeah, Hammer is pulling away from him, so when he pits, these soft tyres are going to have to be absolutely rapid to catch him, I think. He's hoping for another safety car. Is Alexander and Charlie and Gianfus, as Hammer's now. Wait, never mind. Now that I've lost the timings. Yes, I've lost the timings, so I don't know how far everyone is apart, unfortunately. I'll have to rely on the mini-map for that. As there's still a train, it seems, from Hammer kind of down all the way to... No, but actually... No, I think it's half really, but none of these cars have DRS. From looking at the telemetry, we'll have to look on the straight if they have DRS. Now, Alexander is catching Hammer a bit, and Hammer is catching, as there's a DNF of Bel-Ami into the last place, and there's a safety car. Alexander does not go into the pits. I think he saw that. Gianfus, perfect time for Gianfus to dive into that pit lane. It's also a godsend as should be good for Gianfus. Gianfus should get past the rest of the people that have to pit as well. So currently leading is Charlie. Gianfus gets out and is very slow. Yeah, I was going to say, Luca seems to be driving the opposite direction, and he's now disqualified from the session for reversing the wrong way, unfortunately. That's 4 retirees now, 1 disqualification and 3 retirees. At Russia now, so they're for 9 places, 9 positions halfway through this race. 3 safety cars, and we're only halfway through the race. Very, very interesting. So still to pit we have Alexander and Charlie. Oh no, never mind. Charlie and Alexander are forced to pit onto the either soft compound tyre, which will go for 14 laps. So maybe they won't pit. It's very unlucky for them, this strategy here. There's a very slow moving Gianfus gets into P5. Now he's to let a few cars pass. It seems to go very slow. Look, as Novice lets Gianfus pass. Gianfus now into P5. As Alexander does pit, I'm assuming for the soft compound tyres. If it ended like this, my prediction of Charlie winning the race would be amazing. With my camera still, there we go, changes to him leaving the pit lane. As the safety car won't come in this lap obviously, and we'll wait another lap, so we'll get underway on going on to lap 16. which means there's 11 laps left of this race. The best people on the grid right now is GMFS in P4 on the newest tyres. He's looking good for the win. Excuse me, sorry. I probably should have muted myself, as the cars actually might come in at the end of this lap. So it might be a lap 15 we get away. Right, so goes to safety car, very slow. Moving Charlie. I think he might try to set off really early into sector 3, but unfortunately not. His tyres will be very cold if he doesn't warm these tyres. His tyres have got to be cold here. Trying to wiggle them around. He knows where the finish line is. He knows when he can set off. He knows when he can set off, and he does get away. And now he's trying to warm the tyres on this straight. As he manages to stay in front, but Roberts with a big dive on the inside of G Infamous, and I think he's going to have to give that place back. And I don't think he is actually giving it back. Alexander Valemius left the session. Round the outside, Hoff now. There's chaos in front of him. Alexander manages to slip by on the soft combiner tyres. And now back on the outside, Hoff is. Alexander makes a place up on Ben. Hoff tries making a place on the inside of Ben. He does do that. Nobbits is all off the track here. Double makes a move. Oh! His car gained air there, did Nobbits there. Call action, that's good. Alexander gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Now on the straight, more action. Charlie being overtaken in the harsh braking zone. But no, I didn't want to make the dive. I just realised I got a comment on stream that I have not looked at. So we'll look at that now. As I've clicked onto the wrong stream. Clicked onto Division 3, which you can go watch as well. It's been streamed at the same time as this. It's just a random comment. As Alexander's now making the move on G Infamous. As G Infamous goes wide there. Back, Alexander does get the place. G Infamous may be hoping that Hammer and Funk's pit here. Unfortunately, Charlie cannot go the entire race on one set of tyres and will have to pit. So I'm looking at the timing, and the closest people are actually a lot on track. The first move being made is for the lead, and the second move is G Infamous back on Alexander. Alexander trying to defend his position, I think, from G Infamous, as Double gets in front of Hoff here. in the Williams. Ben is still looking to make any places. Just know that he is not out of the race. He's still willing to fight. Nobber's pitted a long time ago after that bump. DRS is now being enabled on this straight, I assume, so these cars will get DRS. Correct? No, not on this straight. Wait, no, yes, on this straight, because Charlie is getting it. On Hammer, and Hammer's overtaken for the lead, and now GM makes a move back on Alexander, and Hoff makes a move back on Double. And so Charlie's going to try and stay in Hammer's DRS range for as long as possible. But that time is slowly gaining from each corner. Having to use his ERS just to stay in range. Yeah. 8 tenths, 7 tenths. This DRS zone can't come any faster for Charlie. It's below a second, it's below a second, it's below a second, he will get DRS. Even if it's a second there, he will get DRS here from the detection zone. But now it's enough, is it enough DRS? He didn't seem to be gaining, well never mind, he never actually did get DRS. He was out of it. Unfortunately, now I think he's just had to accept that, as there's no changes of position made on the straight. But Alexander's looking really close on the inside of Jim's, looking a bit more than really close, trying to make the move. As he spins, no! Into the wall, breaking his way, no! The slow moving, as he has to pit now onto new soft tyres. So unlucky for Alexander there. I had him for the second place. I had Charlie for the win and the Hoff for third, but Hoff still looking for that P3 as GM makes a move on Funky there. My dual shock for battery level is low. We'll be plugging that in. So now the gaps between the cars have grown to around a second. Numbers gets the fastest lap on the soft tyres. Yes, all gaps between the cars are around a second now, except for Half that's trying to clutch. Well, I mean, yeah, clutches. Keep his clutch. I don't know. Keep a grip of Funky's TRS. As Hoff is on the newer tyres as well, so hopefully he'll gain on Funky and get 4th. Charlie Stufford, so maybe P3 is on for Hoff, and I'll be happy if one of my predictions are right. As in the last sector, you can see is what about his ERS? A little bit more ERS Funky has, and there we go. Charlie finally pits onto the soft tyres. No wing damage, may I add, which is brilliant to see. As Hoff is trying to catch Funky, no, DMX50 made the move around the outside and took turn 1 on Funky in Division 5, which is a great move. He won that championship, did DMX50. Great driver, great commentary as well. As Hoff is now the closest man on track. As he's so close, surely going to make the move in the next DRS zone. He did make the move in the DRS zone. Which I'm surprised about now. Ben gaining on double here. And double gaining on half. Surely half starts to make the move here. As it gets darker over Sochi circuit, could we see a bit of rain? Obviously the session was supposed to be dry, but we've had 3 safety cars, so maybe a little bit of rain towards the end of the session. It's going slightly overcast at the moment, as Hoff does make the overtake on Funky, so as long as he stays P3, my prediction will be correct. Hammer essentially gaining on Infamous here. Infamous now P2, very calm in P2. Maybe Hoff looking to hunt him down, maybe a little, but also one that is doing the hunting is double on also Funky here, looking to make the overtake. Score some good points for Williams, hopefully. So double is trying to do. Surely double makes the move on Funky. Unfortunately, Funky's in the oldest set of tyres on the grid right now, with Hammer pitting under the the second safety car. Where he keeps the place. Ben with a time penalty. Hammer also with a time penalty, but I think that's only a 3-second time penalty. So if GM was all very wide there from double, if Hammer manages to, if GM manages to close 1.3 seconds, you know, he's looking at P1, another race win. But Ben also wanted to catch double, so maybe double won't make the overtake on oh, it's on the straight. Alright. As we move around the outside into the braking zone, and that is P5 for Ben. Ben looking for P4, wanting to get P3 that he got in pole again. As all the cars are now out of a second of each other, so there's no DRS for anyone. So it's going to be a tough job to overtake. Hopefully Ben can get in the DRS of Funky here and get his place. As Hammer gets another time penalty, which now puts Infamous P1 here if he can give it, and maybe even Hoff setting his sights on trying to clutch into that 6-second gap to get P2 as well. So small mistakes from Hammer paying big now. As Ben with the DRS, try and gain on but no, it's just not enough. But can he do it on the main straight here? as he does make the overtake, but I thought that Funky would be in a clawback after that late braking zone, but he doesn't seem to have made, and a lot of cars have gone wide on turn 1 and no penalties really been given. And obviously Ben does have a 3-second time penalty, so Funky's just trying to stay in that, I think. Charlie gets his 3-second time penalty, which is his first of the evening, as he's got within 6 seconds of double. Now Funky gets a 3-second time penalty. Everyone getting time penalties here. Jim Fisher trying to stay just within Hammer here. 1.2 seconds now separate them. He needs to keep that down over the next 5 hours. And Charlie retires from the session. Will that be a safety car? It is a full-on safety car. As we're trying to see the crash, he comes from this corner, maybe gets the back end on that green curb, bang, into the wall completely in the middle of the track. And now pits. Hammer pits. Jimfmus doesn't pit as he sees Hammer pit on the softs. A lot of cars spread out. Maybe this works for Jimfmus, depending on how long the safety car stays out. We'll have to see what his tyres are like. Tandem pole tyres round Sochi. DRS doesn't get enabled for another couple laps. He saves the RS. Looking good, but Hammer doesn't realise how long the pit lane. Oh, never mind. A lot of cars did pit as well, like Funky and Double, who might be able to get out in front of Ben here. No, is behind Ben. Oh, has a new front wing change as well. Alexander changes onto new soft tyres because it is a free pit stop, and Norbert decides to stay out. Even though it is a free pit stop here for those drivers. And now it's just a matter of how long the safety car stays out for. I'd assume we get racing on lap 26. And then no DRS, so maybe Jim was getting his second win of the season. And maybe even Hoff getting his podium of the season. Unfortunately, my predictions are wrong. I mean, instead of Hoff being third, it's Hoff being second. But maybe with Hammer's overtake on him, he could be third. I should probably stop talking about my predictions because no one really cares about them. As the cars now do have to catch up, but I'd assume it's just, I don't think it's going to allow only one lap of racing. Yeah, one lap of racing to decide the championship in 2021. To be fair, should I have a look at the thingy? So to win the championship right now, hold on, that's results, sorry. So to win the championship, I think Hoff needs to, yes, to win the championship, Hoff needs to finish P1 in this race. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get our 6th new winner, as we've had 6 different winners. So yes, to win, obviously, Jimfus is 2 points, no. Hoff is 2 points in front of Jimfus in the standings. Jimfus is second in the standings with 74 points, and Hoff is first in the championship with 76 points. Alexander's race is saved after Charlie's DNF. Safety car will be in this lap, yes. We'll have 2 laps of racing. No DRS for these laps. And it seems that Alexander is P3 in the standings with 59 points. So a shot of miraculously winning the championship for him. He will need the front 2 to DNF and him to finish first. Obviously next race, but this race I think he just needs to get a podium to stay in the race for the championship, which is a tough call here for Alexander. It's all on him to do. And Jimfus for the second safety car restart in a row here. He gets 9 tenths to half, 1.2 seconds to half. As Hoff is now being overtaken on the straight by Hammer and also being followed by Ben. No, round the outside. Hoff, great defending there, I'd say. And Ben gets a wicked exit out of that corner. He's going to go try the inside. No, he doesn't. Hoff keeps it. Hammer, 4th. Jimmus pulling. Well, I think this lead. I think this defense from Hoff. Hoff is giving Jimfus a chance in the title here, but I don't think Hoff is quick enough on this day to get past Jimfus, even with the start he had. Alexander wanting to get past Double here, also on the straight. We'll have to see that on the straight. Exactly, if it stays like this. Wait, no, but Ben makes the overtake on Hoff here, which puts his points down. Jimfus will be at a lead going into Brazil. Obviously it'll be with the Brazilians' home race in Brazil, because obviously Jimfus is currently living in Ireland, but he is Brazilian. This is not right, says Bogorowski. We have a different winner every race. Yes, usually we should have a different winner every race, Bog, to be fair. But maybe we will, as Ben is now on the inside of Jimfus. Into the braking zone of turn 1, they're still side by side. Jimfus not willing to let this win go. He wants his second. That is a spin from Double. Double is not out. He's not out, but there can't be another safety car. But luckily, he's fine. But Hoff has dropped. Gene Hoff has dropped to 4th place here, which now puts Jimfus in the lead going into Brazil by a good 10 points, I would assume. But Ben is really fighting for this win. Hammer's also fighting for it, and Hammer's got past his teammate after that corner. On the last lap, Hammer is back into the lead, but now Hoff's back into 2nd. Now Jimfus is into 7th. What's happened to Jimfus? Had an incident there, unfortunately. Alexander's 5th. Funky's made up to 3rd. Ben's had an unfortunate race, and now he's trying to get past. Ben is. Hammer's well in front. Dive! And there's a dive from Funky. Now so Hoff is 3rd. Unseen from Hoff. And now Alexander's trying to go the long way around on Hoff, as Alexander's in 4th. So Funks is in 2nd. It looks like it's going to finish that way unless there's any drama over the line. And Hammer wins. No, Hoff finishes 1st with the time penalties. I was completely ignoring the time penalties. Hoff finishes 1st with the time penalties. Alexander with driver of the day. So let me get that straight. Who is on the podium? There is Hoff is on the podium. So Hoff wins from time penalties. In second is Hammer, and third with time penalties is Funky, right? In the Alpine, his first podium. That is great for him. I couldn't even catch the ending with all the cameras I was on. I was sticking on Hoff and it would drop crazy down. A lot of mistakes, but also a lot of good racing there. So, yes, Hoff wins the championship, right? After that? Because he's in first. He gets 25 points. Infamous has... I know, I'll have to check. I don't think he does actually. No, Infamous has to... It's only 2 points, isn't it? Yes, that's not right. Infamous still in the fight for the championship, going to the last race, but Hoff is at a significant... in a significantly better position. Hammer gets a podium, which is good for him, and Bunky getting his first podium, which is great for the Alpine team. Unfortunately, we saw the retirements of Relay Luca, who was disqualified, and Charlie, who unfortunately got to watch the last bit of that race. His safety car causing all of that mayhem. So fourth placed Infamous will be getting 12 points and 25 for... That's a difference of what, 13 points, 15 points. So going into the final race of Division 6 next Thursday, Hoff is 15 points in front of Infamous, and I don't think Alexander can physically win the championship anymore. I think he's out of it. So I think it's between Hoff and Infamous for the championship. So it's been great day racing here at Delta Racing Division 6 in Russia. Crazy last lap with 5 safety cars in total, I'm pretty sure, which is a lot of safety cars and a lot of retirements, and coincidentally not a lot of races, only 13 races and 5 safety cars, so quite an entertaining bunch, these guys. So obviously that's the end, and I guess I'll see you guys next Wednesday. If you guys do want to, or haven't yet subscribed, please do so. And if you do want to compete in races like this, in the description is a link to our website where you can find the Discord there. So then you can participate in some of these races if you really want me to commentate your name that badly. So yeah, thank you for watching, and that's all from us, and goodbye.